Tunnel going to some swings. Noticed right behind me, like right over there, is like walls of hot sauce. They probably have a couple hundred, right? A couple hundred bottles of hot sauce.
I may have overcommitted a little.
Yeah, like look at what Tiff got, and I got just an omelet.
Because, okay, they said this is a chili relleno. So no, I couldn't get it anywhere else, but then I walked by the breakfast thing, and oh yeah, it is one. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this is happening right now. Because I was not expecting it. That's the cool part. So let's test this sucker out. Oh. Praise the Lord. Ryan?
Is that it?
This is it.
We don't know if this is soap or if it's food. It's perfectly square. Doesn't taste like soap. Hey, what's up, guys? Ryan G, the legend here, and Tiffany the pickle. This is day 2.
Oh my gosh.
So, woman asked me if I wanted American coffee or if I wanted Mexican coffee. Obviously, I want Mexican coffee. So it doesn't have cream in it, which I'm used to, but it's a very different flavor. It's almost like peppermint flavor.
Mexican coffee is made with cinnamon, brown sugar, caramel, field orange, field apple, and chamomile.
So check this out. Like I sat down, I came to the ocean, and then I sat down, and then I was like, whoa, there's a huge iguana just sitting right by my beach chair.
Thinking in a small little room with poor ventilation. We are going to like a big water park. Xcaret Park.
We're going to, Ryan is taking me to the dangerous, risky park. Happening right away. We're going on the long, dangerous zip line.
They only had 42 deaths this year. So now we're going to like actually swim in the cave. I kept telling you to hold on to me and you kept letting go.
Because this is what was happening to me. And I'm like, none of this is happening to Ryan because he's tall enough, but me, my life jacket's riding up. My helmet's good. So I'm like, this is order. My helmet's like this, and I'm like that is horrible.
Think of that, Tiff?
I think it was awesome. It was long. I was only expecting like a 4-minute ride, and it was 5 kilometers. So
yeah,
super long.
Guys,
yes,
Ryan G, the legend.
Why do you say that? I just want to slap you every time you say it.
I'm legally changing my middle name to the legend, and that way people would be like, you can't call yourself the legend. I'm like, actually, it's my legal name.
I mean, it is a step up from Grover.
So didn't Mexico look like super awesome?
It was so fun. Watching that back, I'm like, oh, that was so good. But I feel like we kind of dropped the ball. We should have got more footage.
We got so much footage. Like, I gave it to my editor, and he's like, Ryan, this is a lot of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, bro. We were there for 6 days.
Yeah, because I think we're going to break it up, and we have like a few chunks, right?
He's working on more stuff.
Yeah, okay. So you guys saw like, you know, a snapshot of it.
Yeah.
But super fun, super cool. I know I see a lot of people are like, yeah, glad y'all didn't mix the tapes up. Trust me, that thought came across my mind. I did say to Ryan, he's like, oh yeah, I sent all the video to Goche, to the editor, and I'm like, all of it? And he said, yeah, all of it off your phone. I just went, I'm like.
So she goes, did you send him the video of me in the bathtub? And I was like, probably. Like, if it's on your phone, I sent it.
Whoops. Gotta be careful now. Because, and you know, we never did this before, but now we're kind of like, you know, we've been married for 18 years. We're kind of sending each other a few pictures here and there.
Yeah, what did I send yesterday morning?
This is disgusting.
I woke up in the morning, and I don't know what I texted you, but I was, I said, like, can you bring me some headache medicine or whatever, early Sunday morning?
And I said, like, you know, I texted him back as, you know, I said,
I thought I was going to get an eggplant emoji.
You know.
So I, like, even though I had a bad headache, I lifted up the covers and was like, cha-ching.
So he takes the snapshot. And I got to admit, like, I haven't seen it in a while. Like, it just happens. But I haven't seen it, and I'm like, ugh! That was my reaction in the laundry room. I was like, ugh! So I said, like, not that type of picture. I'm like, when's the last time you know, cleaned stuff up down there? It's just laying there, all sad.
Last time we talked about this
Hairy
topic,
everywhere.
One of our female students met me at the range, and she's like, her name's LaShawn. She's like, I can't even look at you, right?
Whoops.
I was like, oh, you must have seen the live stream last night.
But this yeah, Ryan was sexting, exactly.
Oh, look at this.
What?
Will Smith is apparently watching our live stream right now. Will Smith says, he says, smack the like I smacked Chris Brown or Chris Rock.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Janet's on here. Okay. Oh my God. Cry face emoji, okay.
Very good to see you guys. So we missed you. Yeah, I see a lot of familiar faces. So happy to have you guys back. Crazy stuff this week again.
Yeah, there's a lot of wild stuff happening. So tonight we're going to talk about Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock. We're going to talk about a 73-year-old man that got the crap kicked out of him in the parking lot of a Publix.
I'm an actor.
A pregnant woman that got kicked in the stomach by some scumbag in Largo. And we want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on, like, what was the right thing to do in these situations? What was the wrong thing to do? So first, let's talk about this Will Smith thing, right? Because there's a lot of controversies, obviously, big topic.
This is what happened to me. Ryan never snores, but last night he started snoring at like 10:30. I'm like, ugh. Well, I want to let him sleep. So I leave the room. I go downstairs to watch Bridgetown. Or
Bridgerton. How do I know that and you don't know that?
Bridgerton, which is soft porn set in the 1800s. So
what does that mean? Does that mean they like showed their ankle or their wrists or something?
No, you see, I mean, it's it's like a love story, but there's a little, it's good for the ladies, I would say. Yeah. So anyway, for you guys, it's not. It's too boring, probably. But so I start watching that, and then I'm just about to fall asleep, but I flip on Facebook and I see this, Will Smith saga. So I'm like, what? Is the Oscars tonight? What happened? So I go to YouTube, I see it. That took me down a rabbit hole for like 2.5 hours. I didn't go to bed till 3.
Okay, so let's play the video just in case somebody didn't see it.
I'm sure everybody did.
The hardest job tonight, Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
So do you think that was real?
I think it was real, 100%.
It looks like a fake slap. It looks pretty fake, like pretty staged. I don't feel like Chris Rock really reacted like it was a real hit.
No, he did.
You think so?
Yeah, it was real. I have no doubt that it was real. But I was surprised at the amount of people. Like, I snapshotted this in the middle of the night because I'm like, you know what? I'm so tired of people like supporting. This is my thoughts and my thoughts only. I feel like if that was a far right person, actor, that they would have been escorted out immediately.
A white actor hitting Chris Rock, and they'd be burning down cities across America.
Yeah, but I screenshotted how many followers Will Smith had on Instagram last night, and it was 60 million exactly. And Chris Rock, I mean, a very sad, like 6 million or something. But this morning when I woke up, I was expecting to see, less people on Will's, but I was surprised to see that he actually went up like 800,000 followers, and Chris Rock went up like 100,000. So I was surprised at the amount of people that were like, what he said, he totally deserved it. Now, what I think is what Chris said. Do I think that it's kind of a low blow? Yes, I do. Do I think that it's, an ignorant comment? Yes, considering she has alopecia, I do think that it's an ignorant comment. But ask Ryan. He watches Dave Chappelle all the time, and I'm in bed, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like,
it's
hilarious.
My
gosh, the whole thing to me is offensive. Like, I don't listen to it because it's all offensive to me. So everybody has different, levels of offensive. He's laughing, and I'm like,
okay, so before we even get, too deep in here, type in the comments below, do you believe Chris Rock deserved it? Or
do you think it's okay?
Will Smith acting like an immature asshole?
What I want to know is it okay? Because my point that I made was, if it's okay to do that, then it has to be okay for everybody to do that. Not just Will Smith, who's a likable guy. You know, I even like Will Smith. I don't really care for his wife too much just because I just don't care for her. But I like Will Smith. I think he's a great actor. I think he's a cool guy. I like him. But if it's okay for him, then it has to be okay for everybody to act like that. And that's where
Okay, so lots of people. So Sam says he deserves it. Pitbull says he deserves it. Shane deserves it. Okay. No, it's just, okay, Greg says no.
Vinny says asshole move.
Asshole move, okay. RV Dog, not okay.
Not okay.
Dan, it was just a joke. Will went way too far over a joke. Okay. How would Chris Rock know she has alopecia? What does it matter? Right. Like, this is comedians joking about stuff, right?
Well, and people get made fun of all the time. Like, people, they do fat jokes all the time, and a lot of times people can be fat because of diabetes.
Will Smith was laughing. He was laughing. And it was only after he laughed, looked over and saw Jada was making her normal, like, RFB face, that wrestling RBF face, that he decided to change it and actually walk upstairs and walk upstairs.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right? Like, if it's okay for one person, then it has to be okay for everybody. So, like, we can go back in the day when people said something rude to you. You could, clock them. That's what they did, right?
Yeah,
you would get into a fist fight, and then you would hash it out, and then it would be over or whatever. So if we want to go back to that, then I say that's fine. But it can't be like pick and choose, like, well, you can do it this time, but, the next guy, or this was my argument. If Ryan and I went to Burger King today, and some guy said, like, oh, your wife's looking kind of chunky, do you really think she needs that? And what if I'm taking steroids, which steroids make you, you can take steroids for all kinds of stuff, a rash, cancer, whatever. Would it be okay? If Ryan clocked the guy, I guarantee you within minutes he would be arrested.
100%.
He would be arrested. So why is it okay for him and not for you? That's where I kind of say, hey, I think if it was somebody else, a well-known right-wing person, I think that they would have been escorted out.
Oh, this would be not only escorted out. The police would have walked in. They would have arrested him. Didn't care about the show. They would have done it right in front of everyone. Like if this was Chris Pratt, which they already don't like Chris Pratt, right?
Yes, that's the guy I was thinking of.
Because he's a hunter. He's like an outspoken conservative. Yeah. That dude's getting dragged out in cuffs, right? Yeah. Taste maced. It's going to be over.
Yeah.
And it's going to be terrible. But somebody like Will Smith, everybody's just brushing this under the rug, and it's complete BS.
Yeah, and again, I think what Chris Rock said was, a low blow.
It doesn't matter what Chris Rock said. It doesn't matter. We have free speech in America. Chris is allowed to say whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard comedians say way worse, I have to tell you.
Sure.
So I hate Kathy Griffin, can't stand the biatch, but I like her comment. She said, now us comedians have to be worried about every Will Smith in the audience being offended and jumping on stage and thinking that they can assault us.
Sure.
Which I thought, you know what? That is a very valid point. Where do you draw the line? Because if you allow it for one, you got to allow it for everybody.
Yeah.
So, that's my thoughts.
Okay, so Placid Saint says, what if Chris had hit him back? I wanted to see a full-on brawl. I think that would have been amazing. Yeah. Police didn't show up because Chris Rock did not press charges. Yeah, but the police...
Academy could have.
The police are allowed to press charges.
And the Academy could have called. And I'm like, is it fair? Is it fair that he gets to get the award? And then is it fair that he gets to stay at the after party?
Some people were talking about like Will Smith's like acceptance speech afterwards. Talk about that real quick.
Yeah, well, because his acceptance speech was, I'm sure you guys watched it. It was just really weird because it talked about him being this protector and this river of love and him loving. And it's like, well, you just did the opposite. Like, this is just so bizarre. I guess he had the speech written before he knew he was going to.
And what did Denzel Washington? Denzel Washington is probably one of two actors that I respect the most.
Yes.
I'm going to let you guys put in the comments below if you can guess who the other actor is that I respect right up there with Denzel Washington. But what did Denzel Washington say to Will Smith?
So he said right after it happened, he said, be careful, man. The devil tries to get you at your highest moments. And I thought, hey, very smart thing to do or to say. what I found interesting was that him, Bradley Cooper, Tyler Perry all went up and was like, you know, all right, man, it's okay, man. But nobody was like, you know, went to the stage and was like, Chris, you all right? Or, hey, you know, you should have done that. Like, I just thought it was, because he's technically the victim, but you're consoling the aggressor. It was kind of weird. Like, the whole thing was just weird. I don't know.
Okay, so some people say The Rock, Tyler Perry, Clint
The
Eastwood.
Rock is not somebody that Ryan.
Yeah, no, I don't connect with that guy.
Yeah.
So nobody's really guessing it. Keanu Reeves.
Oh.
I respect Keanu Reeves a lot, and the reason is they say he is extremely polite.
Yes.
And anybody, you know, one of the big things with actors is people come up, they see him in public, and they're like, hey, can I get a picture? Hey, can I get an autograph? And these people are dicks, right?
Yeah.
They're assholes to everybody. But Keanu Reeves is never like that, apparently.
Yeah.
He's always very kind. He's always, like, very patient. Because it's a big deal.
He's also known as being very humble, right? He still will ride public transportation. He gives a lot. I mean, you know.
And you know he, like, gave away, I don't remember the number.
Amy Schumer. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I refuse to watch anything Amy Schumer
Keanu is the best guy ever, hands down. Yeah, he is. Okay, Juan, Keanu is super humble. Yeah, so it's just known as, Brian says Keanu's great. So that's someone, you know, that you can look up to and respect. So with Will, I've kind of always liked him. I like his, you know, I like his thoughts and stuff, things that he shares. I think he's a very smart guy. I think he lost his cool. I think it was a very high emotion moment, which we talk about all the time. What will you do in a high emotion moment? You never know till those things happen. But I think that he lost all kind of credibility once he incited violence. Now, if he would have walked up on stage and just said, like, super pissed off, like he said, keep my effing wife's name out of your mouth. If he would have just said that, I would have been like, okay, you know what? I get it. But it was the assault part that you just can't. You can't say that it's okay unless you think, you know, you say kids get tormented at school for having autism and stuff, right?
Yeah,
so they
actually,
have a real medical condition.
My kids just told me about this little, like, Latino girl that apparently some other kids in the class are saying, like, you should drop out of school and go pick strawberries.
Yeah.
And I told Paisley, I said, you better be sticking up for this kid.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, bullshit comments that people are making, and you better do something.
Yeah.
But
what I was saying is there's other people with medical conditions because people were like, well, it was a medical condition, so now it's okay. But there's other people that get bullied and picked on for being different, for having burns, for having scars, for having, you know, being autistic or having Tourette's or whatever it is. And we have.
I wish I had a friend that had Tourette's.
And we can't. Whatever. What I'm trying to say is if we, you know, then we're telling those kids, which we've been telling them all the time, you know, to try and not be violent, then we're telling them that it's okay to be violent. So
I think there's a time to be violent.
Yeah.
But that was definitely not the time.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree.
and
I just think he should have met him backstage.
In fact, if we want to talk about a time to be violent, a time when violence is necessary in the eyes of a sheepdog. Let me find the video here. You guys ready? Okay, so this is an incident that happened in Winterhaven. A 73-year-old man was attacked, got the crap kicked out of him in the parking lot of a Publix.
And police also need your help this morning finding the person accused of punching a 73-year-old man outside a Publix store in Winterhaven. This is surveillance video of that attack. Police say the victim confronted a driver who he says almost drove into him. They say that is when that driver got out of his truck and punched the older man who said he would call police. They tell us the suspect then knocked the older man to the ground, hit him, and repeatedly almost broke his phone. He is expected to be okay. Let's go ahead and give you a photo of that suspect. You see him pretty clearly there. This is a surveillance video from inside the store. If you do recognize him, Winterhaven police want to hear from you. That number, 863.
Okay, so I guess Tiff was just telling me the police got this guy, huh?
No, they don't got him. They have his picture. So somebody called in and said, like, okay, this is who this is. So they got his picture.
Oh, so they know his name. They know who this dude is. Okay.
They got everything now. So... But, you know, why has he got to wear camo?
Because it's Polk County. I was in a Walmart in Polk County one time, and I was standing there. It was when I was working for Culligan Water. We were, like, fixing this machine or whatever. And I just started. I was like, dude, there's a lot of people in here wearing camo. So I started counting, like 1, 2, 3 camo, 4, 5, 7 camo. I counted like 100 and something people wearing camouflage.
And camo's not a bad thing. I have camo, but it's just like it's not like accents of camo, but yeah, I don't know.
When you can identify dozens of people wearing camouflage in one little area, you know you're in a special place.
Okay, so they arrested him today, Canic Bill says. Okay, good. So we sent out an email this morning. If you're on our list, you would have got the email. Ryan broke down the story and asked you, what would you do? We got like over 100 people that emailed back saying, this is what I would do, this is what I would do. So I want to share some of those things with you because it's so crazy and so fascinating to me at the same time. The differences in people's personalities and the differences in what people feel, is justified.
Is justified or not.
Yeah, exactly. So the first gentleman said, first of all, if I was 73 years old and the man got out and confronted me and was a good-sized individual, I would try to retreat as quickly as possible. If he continued to pursue me and I felt like there was a threat of physical harm, I would respond with a firearm. Because I have multiple medical conditions where if I was struck in the head, it could kill me. But first and foremost, you shouldn't verbally assault anybody because it could lead to this situation.
Yeah, see, the challenging part is we never know who we're dealing with, right? It could be something as simple as saying, hey, slow down, stop driving through my neighborhood, flipping somebody off, whatever. Like, you're dealing with that guy who just found out that his cousin is banging his wife, which is very possible in Polk County. And now, is that not funny to you?
No, I was going to say, or like Will Smith, your, wife was with August, whatever that rapper dude is.
Okay. But they have an open relationship, right? So what does it matter?
They have it after that. It was kind of like a...
After the fact kind of thing?
After the fact, now we decided to kind of...
Okay.
Well, this is the thing. So 100% agree with you. You never know who you're dealing with. That is why when Ryan first started going to the bus stop with the boys, there's a lot of people. So it's at 6:30 in the morning. It's dark. And this road, you're only supposed to go 30 miles an hour on, and there's a kid's bus stop there. You can't see the kids. It's pitch black. So there's cars that are racing by, right? Vroom, 50 miles an hour, 60
So
miles
my
an
solution
hour.
is, because this is the way I think, is I have some very, very bright flashlights that are like 1,000 lumen strobe.
So he's like, I'll handle this, right? So his idea is he's going to go out and he's going to strobe light people, and he's going to be like, slow down. And I'm like, you are going to end up in a shootout at our kids' bus stop because you are going to flash somebody, the wrong person. He's going to be, shooting at you, you're shooting at him. Like, this is going to turn bad because you don't know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And that's why
So I put the flashlight back in the garage.
And we just...
Hey, thanks, Joe. We appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you so much, Joe. And we just don't say anything because that's what it's come to today. You just don't know what people are going through. So another thing that somebody said is, okay, since I carry pepper spray, if I were close enough, I would pepper spray the assailant in the face to incapacitate him until the cops arrive, and then get ready to be arrested and sued for foolishly getting involved. The criminal has rights too, and we have consequences, which is funny, but it's true.
It is true, right?
Yeah. But I never want to get to a place where if we see somebody being violently attacked, that we decide that we're just not going to get involved.
True.
Whether that's calling the cops, whether that's just going, hey, to get the attention, whether that's honking the horn. Like, there's so many things that we can do, but I never think
Shooting a gun in the air, is that one of them?
No. I never think that we should get to where we're like, I just don't want to get involved because I just don't want to get involved. Because that, to me, scares me. Because if I'm that person on the floor, or if I'm that person that's being, forced into a vehicle and screaming, I can't imagine somebody just being like, just not going to get involved.
Yeah, so Bill says Sheepdog Ryan would smoke him. I don't think I would yet, but I definitely would be out of my vehicle and I'd be running at him. I would yell my super loud hey, which if you guys have probably never heard me yell it,
but if
like
you've
for
heard
real,
him,
but it is loud.
It will make you shudder.
He's
got a loud voice.
It is very loud. That's the voice they used to scream at inner city kids with on the bus.
Yeah.
In a positive way, before I get protested, whatever. But that's how I'd get them to stop fighting, whatever. So I would definitely do that, and I'd be running towards them. And if that guy wouldn't get off by the time I got there, I'm definitely going to hit him. And we're going to see what happens at that point. I'm going to have to...
So this other guy says, hey, if I was 73 and being attacked, I would expect my wife to shoot him.
Now, do the rules change about using a gun in self-defense based on age?
So, yes and no, right?
Okay.
Because it all depends. So it doesn't based on age unless it's over the age of
65.
65, which this guy was 73. Also, I know that it's not like written in the statute, but if you have several like extensive medical issues and, you were to go to court and it was a jury, if you can say like, I have a broken back, I had a stroke, I had, all these medical issues, that definitely is going to help your case. So it is a case by case basis as far as like the medical issues thing. It's can you articulate, do you have the documentation, do you have the medical records to support your... Because all you have to do is convince them that you truly were in fear for your life. So if you do have, you had an aneurysm or you had a broken neck or you had a, severe injury in the past, what's it called? Brain injury, traumatic brain injury, then I think that you would be found, justified.
Drew says that this does not justify the use of the gun because there was no popcorn involved.
Funny, not funny, because I feel bad for that lady, but she's a stand-up lady, and she just
what are you talking about? Who's a
Chad's wife?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like she just said, I just don't want my husband to be known as a monster. That's not what he was, and I agree with that. So one more thing, okay?
Go.
Someone is being assaulted, so that would be a forcible felony. Unless I saw the whole thing, I wouldn't know if the old man was the aggressor or not, but my logic could only assume, but that's not a great defense in court. So if I saw this happen, I would attempt to physically stop the guy punching the old man. I'm not 100% sure the situation allows for the use of a firearm. So he wanted to know what you thought. Is that considered a forcible felony?
Yeah, so forcible felony, so it could potentially be aggravated battery, aggravated assault. So that's using a deadly weapon, but not using it with the intent to cause death. Could potentially be aggravated battery simply because of how old this man is. Mm-hmm. But basically, I think this boils down to a simple battery.
Yeah.
So simple battery is not enough to pull out a gun and shoot somebody. Yeah. Again, that would probably change with this situation because the guy is 73 years old.
Right, and the multiple punches started to get like, when are you going to stop, right? If you're like, you don't know when he's going to stop. He's going. If you walk in while he's going boom, 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 I mean, you don't know. He might do 10 more of those, which would be, what's it called? A fear of great bodily harm, right?
Yeah, so Joe at Life Perspective says, in this case, it looks like there was a discrepancy of force and it was not a fair fight. Totally agree with that.
Yeah, that other guy was like, not only was he old, like he was a scrawny old guy, right? Like you could tell the size difference was.
Yeah, totally different, right?
Yeah, very different.
RV Dog said the guy was beating up, I would be in fear for my life. I kind of agree with that. Again, This is like an old, frail dude.
And the other guy, when you see his picture, he looks like a mean mother effer.
Yeah? Yeah,
he does. He's like, he doesn't.
Okay.
I don't know. Did that look mean? Was that a mean face?
I don't know. Doesn't look mean to me. That looks like I want to get pregnant face.
Stop!
Okay, right. Mike says the old guy maybe could have shot him. I think it's called disparity of force. You guys can check it out. Yeah, so again, that's kind of what we're talking about is disparity of force is when you have normally punching somebody is not enough to use a gun. But the next story we're going to talk about, a pregnant woman, was getting kicked in the stomach by this scumbag piece of crap in Largo. So again, this is very different. Now it's you're getting punched. The woman is probably not going to get severely hurt from this, but now you're injuring that unborn child, which, believe it or not, is actually a person that has rights and could get severely injured in this situation.
Yeah, now you're thinking about somebody else.
Before we jump into that, let's talk about some questions real quick. Let's talk about Greg real quick. Okay. My ex-wife would have drawn from her flashbang and shoot them both just for sport.
Wow.
It's probably good she's an ex-wife.
I was going to say. Probably why she's an ex-wife.
Yeah, not the greatest choice you made there, sir.
Yes, one punch can kill you, absolutely. It's just not very often that happens. That kid did just get charged that punched that guy in Dunkin' Donuts for calling him
the N-word.
The N-word, which was totally inappropriate.
Good. That guy deserves to go to prison for the rest of his life.
But he punched the old guy, and the old guy died. One punch.
Okay.
So it's too bad because the kid, there was just a high emotion moment. Again, he got called a name that he should have never been called, but he used violence, and unfortunately, it just took one punch, and the old guy died.
Okay, so Canic Bill says, Ryan, I carry in a tactical bag. Need a holster for the Sheepdog Masterclass coming up. What would you recommend? Make sure it's a Kydex holster.
Check
that's
out
like
Concealment Express, right? Did they have a good
he's
one?
saying he's going to carry in a tactical bag, so you got to find something that's going to like really work with a tactical bag.
Okay, I missed that.
So I don't know. You're going to have to just do some research. The big thing is
tactical bags have the molly in there where you
some of them do.
Yeah,
some of them are like Velcro.
Yeah, your tactical bag should have the molly where you can clip your holster in so that it's in there.
Yeah.
But definitely, if you're doing it that way and you're signed up for the Sheepdog Masterclass, make sure you're practicing drawing before the class.
Yeah. Slowly with an unloaded gun.
Slowly with an unloaded gun.
All right, so let's jump to some questions real quick. Jenny says, in your class, you do not recommend purse carry, but is it ever okay? I don't wear belts. After a few kids, I have a belly and it's super uncomfortable. But I did find a nice purse that I'd like to try. Thank you both for all that you do.
Yes, I understand. So let me handle this one, Ryan, because you're not a lady and you don't have a belly.
Last time I checked. I might identify as a lady.
Oh my
you
God.
don't know that.
Okay. So this is the thing. You know, Ryan strongly disagrees against purse carry because he does not agree with off-body carry because it is, one, it's harder to carry. Two, it's easier to leave or to make a mistake with. He shares the story about me carrying in my concealed carry purse. One time, leaving my purse at Pep Boys by accident with a gun in it. The second time, Lincoln puked on himself in the car seat when he was a little baby. And, you know, I ran in, holding the baby, put him in the tub, trying to wash him up from all this puke. And all I did was leave my purse down on the floor by the front door because my kid is covered in puke, and I just kind of chucked it aside. But I had Paisley, who was, at the time, probably like 4 or 5. So she could have gotten access to my purse. She could have got my gun. So that's why we're not huge proponents of off-body carry. However, with that said, I will say that I think that sometimes it's okay. You just have to be trained, and you have to know. You have to have somewhere where you specifically put your purse, like you specifically put it into the safe when you get home or whatever it is. Because if you're not used to ever carrying in your purse and then you start carrying in your purse, you will see there's so many mothers, the one in the grocery store, the kid got the gun, shot her, you know, I don't know if you have kids or not, but the woman at Publix that shot her husband, gun in the purse, pulled the trigger by accident, right in the checkout line, shot her husband. It can be very, very dangerous. The other thing I want to say before you talk is it has to be in a like clickable Kydex holster, trigger guard covered, no matter what.
Yes, no matter what, because far too often people will just put a gun in their purse and they're like, oh, the safety's on, and they just chuck it in there.
Or they use like a cheap nylon holster that a key can easily get hooked into the trigger guard and it'll go off. So you have to have a hard holster covering that trigger and one that clicks, like it locks in there.
You know, recently during a lesson at the range with some of my beginner's guide to firearms students, one of the guys, he was saying to me, he had cancer. He went through chemo and everything, and now his eyes are kind of messed up. He has a really hard time like focusing on the sights, and this is very challenging for him. So I understand it. With the joke that I keep making with him is every single shot that he makes is like high left. So I said to him, if me and you are ever in a gunfight together, you handle the guys on the left. I'll handle the guys on the right. Like you'll definitely kill everybody on the left, okay? So like with him, I keep saying, you need to get a laser on your gun or you need an optic. Now I am very against lasers for 99% of people.
Right.
Because what it does for most people is it teaches you the wrong shooting fundamentals. But for this man, a laser is going to really help him. It's going to help him be able to not have to worry about seeing those sights. He can just focus on the dot and achieve a good, accurate hit. And he was like, yeah, but Ryan, you told me not to do that. I said, yeah, you know, we had a student one time that was missing an arm. And one of the rules of gun safety at a gun range etiquette, is always keep the firearm pointed at the target. But, you know, for this person, they don't have another hand to lock the slide to the rear. So I had to teach this person how to lock the slide to the rear off of their belt.
Right.
So for 99% of people at the gun range, it is unacceptable to point the firearm at the ground because it's not safe. For this person who's missing their left arm, it is the only option. So they are allowed, in my opinion, to violate that gun range etiquette rule because that is the only way they can safely handle a gun.
Right.
Does that make sense? So like most of these rules are not absolute.
Right.
There are cases where things have to get violated.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of the way that it is.
Yeah, and Michelle says that I would rather carry in a purse than not have the gun on me at all.
Sure.
I 100% agree. And for us ladies, it is harder. And, you know, there's certain situations, dresses, stuff like that, that we have to be careful. My only thing is, and there is that lady that wrote into us, Gloria, that had a gun in her purse that stopped a attacker that got into her car.
Yeah.
So because she trained, she knew exactly, like, you know, she trained drawing from it and stuff. So if you are going to carry it in your purse, my only suggestion is that you take the time to really make sure that you can draw and draw safely, that you practice with that, and that you take the time to have a safe spot to put that purse so that you're not leaving your firearm in it for somebody else to get access to.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So,
no kids here, but ordered a Kydex molded trigger guard made for my gun. Okay,
Yes.
awesome, smart, Lisa. What about Ryan?
yes.
What about Ryan with someone who had a lazy eye like me? I am blind in my right eye. Yeah, so people that I recommend, Bill, that have, number one, I recommend everybody invest in a optic. Optics on firearms just make it so much easier. It's unbelievable. So like John, who's been shooting with me like 20 times or whatever now. John, so last Monday, me and his father-in-law went shooting. And John was having an issue with something, and I said, John, try shooting my Glock, which has a Trijicon SRO on it.
Right.
He shot it, and his grouping went from like that big to like that big.
And he fell in love.
And I was like, are you convinced? And he was like, I like this. So then on Saturday, John walks in.
He's got it.
Like, guess what I bought? And he pulls the gun out, and he's got the Trijicon SRO.
Yeah. What kind of gun does he have?
He's got a FN 509.
Nice.
So we were able to move his target even further back. He was getting like solid groupings. It just totally leveled up his game. So I'd prefer somebody invest in a red dot, a nice high quality optic, over a laser for a lot of strategic reasons. Me too. But I think it's great. So anybody that I've identified that has bifocals, trifocals, or any type of like severe eye damage, they really struggle with making those precision shots because their eyes just can't really focus.
Yeah.
Now, most people, it's simply because they need to strengthen the muscles in their eyes, and we have drills that you can do to do that. But for some people, a select few, no matter what they do, it's not going to get better. They need to invest in the technology that's going to help them overcome that obstacle, right?
Yeah, so Jess says thinking about an HK VP9. Nice.
I love it, dude. Tiff bought me the VP9 Tactical for Christmas 3 or 4 years ago. I love it.
Love it.
We
Beautiful
just got my suppressor approved for it, and guess what? I can't pick it up.
Because my permanent resident card has an error on it, and they took it away from me, and they said, we'll send you a new one. So now, not only did I have to wait for the NFA office a year to approve it, now I got to wait for immigration to give Tiff her new ID, which is complete nonsense. Such is life.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready to go on your next? Yeah, Dustin says, love my VP9. Yep.
Okay, so next story. This is the POS guy that kicked a pregnant. Oh no, that's not.
And police.
The hardest job.
Largo man is facing
go.
charges accused of punching a pregnant woman and then kicking her in the stomach. Darney's Ray's Cologne faces charges that include felony battery. Investigators say he attacked the woman during a fight over another man. Documents say Colon grabbed the phone and smashed it as the victim was trying to call for help.
So what would you do if a man was kicking or punching a visibly pregnant woman? Does that justify the use of deadly force in your mind?
I think it changes things. I do, because one kick to the belly, I mean, that's it. You're going to kill the baby. So.
But remember, it's not a baby.
Stop.
I believe it's a baby, just saying.
Yes. So there was two ways of looking at this story. What do you do as a bystander if you saw? And what is the woman legally allowed to do? Because now, if Ryan just punches me, technically I'm not allowed to shoot you because you just punched me, right? But if you're pregnant and they're hitting you in the tummy, that changes everything. So I'm going to go for 2 for 2. It changes everything. If you're a bystander or if you're the woman, you kick somebody or punch somebody in the stomach who's visibly pregnant, and I'm definitely going to pull my firearm. Whether or not I shoot you or not, I don't know. But I'm definitely going to pull my firearm and yell commands for you to stop.
So when I was in technical training in the Air Force, so in the Air Force, you go to your basic training and then you go to your technical training to learn your trade or whatever. When I was there, I was standing at attention in line in our training hall. I forget what they call that. And the guy that I was standing behind, I remember I'm standing there at attention and I'm like, what's up with this dude's head? It looked like a cartoon because instead of his head going up, his head actually caved like that.
Yeah.
And I remember standing there am I tired or something? What is happening?
Right.
So a couple days later, me and this guy started talking and I was like, what's up with your head, dude? And he said, my mom was a nurse. And when she was 6 months pregnant, 8 months pregnant, whatever it was, this guy just violently attacked her and started kicking her in the stomach. And his foot kicked his skull, which was soft, right?
Yeah.
And bent it all the way over.
When you're a baby, it's very pliable.
And now he said there's nothing that doctors can do to fix it. It's just the way that it is. Wow. So it's just really crazy. A small little thing like that has a very big impact on not just the mother, but on that child's life forever, right? So for me, I would argue that the use of deadly force would be justified. If, we had a woman in the concealed carry class a couple days ago who just told me she was pregnant, but I couldn't tell, right?
Right.
Because she's obviously it's a newer thing, right?
Sure, a couple months.
But when do you really start showing? 7 months, 8 months?
6 months.
I can
for most
tell.
People, unless you're my friend Jamali or something that is 9 months pregnant and still looks like.
I asked a woman during the concealed carry class. She came up one time.
You did not.
To shoot the gun, and I was like,
better.
No, I don't.
You don't ask a woman if she's pregnant.
No, this lady, I was like, I'm sorry, because if you're pregnant, you can't shoot, right? So she walked up to shoot, and I was like, I'm sorry, ma'am. You can't shoot if you're pregnant. She's like, I'm not pregnant. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, well, damn, lady, you look pregnant. So she had the baby 3 weeks before, but she copped an attitude I was just calling her fat. No, you were pregnant, and you just had the baby, and I can still tell, right?
Yeah, but still, don't.
I have an obligation to protect that baby. I have to ask. I have to. Yeah.
I don't know about
that. Makes you uncomfortable. Don't come to my class.
Okay, didn't Scott Peterson get judged for killing his unborn baby? Yes, he did, except now they're trying to say that he's innocent. Craziness.
Who? Would anybody say that?
Long story.
Long story? Okay.
There's a documentary on Netflix you can watch.
Yeah, I truly believe it's a baby. You kill it. You're murdering that baby. Mm-hmm. Clear cut, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But a lot of people would argue with me, and I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you can seriously walk by a pregnant woman being attacked, then you are a creature from another planet.
Yeah.
Because that to me is that.
And it sounds like they might have been dating or something because the aggressor said that this fight was over another man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Which tells me that they're connected somehow.
Right, I'm sure. I'm sure it's a domestic thing, but I'm just saying it's one thing you see two men fighting. I could see be whatever, hold your own, brother. But But when you see a pregnant woman, like a woman is one thing, but a pregnant woman, that's like, that's just double whammy. You gotta step in. You gotta do something. So that's just my thought. So I still look pregnant, and I gave birth 22 years ago. Michelle says, that's okay. I'm right there with you.
Oh my gosh, I forgot
What?
to put this picture up. I'm so sorry. Guess who I saw in my concealed carry class? Saturday, Thursday, I don't really remember.
Ryan sent me the picture, and he's like, dude, guess who this is? I have to say, you have to cute it. You were looking cute.
Okay, so you guys won't be able to see it. I forgot to put it in here. This is, so Valerie. It was Valerie from the live streams, right? She's not on here right now, but Valerie from the live stream. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, why do you want to carry a gun? And she goes, oh, I actually took your class 2 years ago or whatever. I'm just here with my husband. She said, I'm Valerie from the live stream. And I was like, oh my God, Valerie. And listen,
she's
I don't,
on all the live streams and the Facebook page.
I don't normally hug women, but I was like, can I hug you? Am I allowed to hug you, Valerie? And she's like, yes, you are. And I was like, okay, so give me a big hug. Because she did a lot, right? She donated to help Bruna. She volunteered her time to go help Bruna. She did a lot.
Yeah, our friend that has cancer, she's a nurse. So she went and met with Christina and helped out and stuff. So anyway, very cool. Very, very cool.
Oh, Valerie is on here. Okay,
there
awesome.
She is.
Yes.
Hey, Valerie. So Ryan sends me this text. He's like, guess who this is? And I'm like, I can't put my finger on it, but I recognize because I'm on Facebook with her a lot. So I see the little tiny profile picture. But anyway, very cool. But let me tell you, you were looking handsome that day.
I always do, Tiff.
Always
do. I've been working on the abs. I bought the Ab Blaster 9000.
Nope. Not true. Nope.
Yeah.
No abs are happening.
Getting that 8-pack.
And I left the shaver on the sink.
Just as a subtle hint.
A subtle hint to maybe do a little manscaping there. Just saying. After 18 years,
okay, hold on.
Keep it fresh.
So Marcel says, I just got done pranking Lithia Motors for calling me numerous times and harassing me. Effing hilarious. Don't get mad if I post it. Yeah, post it. I'd love to know what it is. That'd be awesome.
Okay, Michelle's going to be there on Saturday. She finally got her hubby to take the class.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Very awesome. So make sure you get a selfie with Ryan.
Yeah, that'd be good. And please don't Me Too me, ladies. Ryan hugged me one time. I can't believe it. All right, next question. This comes from Mike. Can you pull your gun if you're in your background barbecuing and somebody walks in? No, you cannot, Mike. Chill out, brother.
Yeah. Is that all he put?
Yeah, that's all he put.
So he didn't say somebody threatened me or yelled at me?
No, Mike is very particular about his barbecue, and he is not taking shit from nobody.
So I think they're saying Tiffany needs wine. Secret.
Yeah, Tiffany told me the other day, I was like, hey, I'm going to go to the gas station and get a case of beer. And she's like, I have wine here. And I'm like, no, you don't. I've literally searched this house for wine. There's no wine here. And she's like, no, I hid it from you. And I'm like, okay. I guess we're at that point in our relationship that you have to hide alcohol. And she hides cheese in the refrigerator. And I'm like,
only bacon Gouda.
Where is this cheese at? I've never seen this before. She's like, I hide it in the back where you don't look. And I'm like, this is complete BS.
Only smoked bacon Gouda because I'm so cheap, but it's $7.89 at Publix, and it doesn't last long. So if I were to give it to you, then it would be gone right away. So I hide it in the fridge. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They say keep the mystery.
Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, in a marriage, keep the mystery. So yeah, I do have some sangria in here.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, wow, scumbag! I'm over here drinking water like a peasant.
So what I did was I bought the little bottles of wine. Those little tiny cute ones in a little pack of 4, because at Christmas, I give them usually wrapped up in a Christmas tea towel. I give them in a little gift bag as a little gift, and I had some left over. So they were in the cupboard, in my gift cupboard, and I found them, and I'm like,
All right, so Gypsy7JK says, Ryan, I need to give you a call. I need to ask you a few things about concealed carry. Here's the deal, guys. I don't like to have to say this.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I used to give every one of our students my cell phone number on a handout.
bad mistake.
Okay, so what would happen is people would call me all day long, right?
All hours of the night.
They would text me. Yeah, they'd call me 2 in the morning. They'd text me, Ryan, what ammo should I buy?
Ryan, I'm having an argument with my friend. He thinks it's legal to do this.
Literally a text message I got from a student. Woman said, Ryan, 2 men are kicking in my door. Am I allowed to shoot them? My response is, dial 911. Why the hell are you calling me? So here's the thing. We decided I cannot allow people to have that much access to me. You guys got to remember, we have 60,000 students.
80,000 YouTube
80,000 YouTube subscribers.
Yeah.
You know, 20,000 people on Facebook. There's all these people, right, that want access to me. I can't talk to everybody. Yeah. This lady the other day was like...
And I had to go to that too. Because it just becomes where, you know, I've got kids. I'm trying to make meals. I'm trying to keep Ryan pleased all the time.
So like the other day, I was on the phone with somebody and Tiffany walked in. She's like, who are you talking to? And I was like, I'm talking to the sales rep at Aero Precision. She's like, oh, I was confused because I haven't heard you talk on the phone in so long.
However,
I don't talk to anybody.
We do offer tech support and we do offer 24/7 live chat support. So if you want to text
and
your
that's
question,
what the live stream is for. The only reason. So when I stopped taking phone calls, that's when I said I got to have a way that I can answer people's questions. I know. Let's do a live stream Q&A where I can just answer people's questions for an hour. Yeah. That's what this is for. So ask your question. I'll be happy to answer it.
Yeah, and if you know it's personal, you can always send us an email to classes@tampacarry.com or send us a text, and we're more than happy to help you.
Okay, so here we got a serious question here. This is important.
Jake, Ryan, can we talk?
Okay. Superstar VFR says, Ryan, I see a cute girl at the gun range. What's a good line to start a conversation?
Who says this? Okay, Superstar. I think I should handle this.
Okay, go.
I think that you should compliment her on her gun choice, maybe, or say like, "Oh, nice shooting," to just bring up the conversation. And then when she says whatever, you say, "Oh, how long have you been shooting for?"
You know what I do?
Do it like that, and then just keep asking questions about her. She doesn't care about you. Ask questions about her.
You know what? It's funny because now that I'm married, I've actually figured out how to really pick up women. Yeah. And it's funny. You want to know the book that changed my life and made me, this is the most important book I have ever read. Yeah. Besides the Bible. It is called The Power of Charm by Brian Tracy. If you want to know how to score women, read this book and study it. Okay. So this book is all about how do you create the magnetism where people are drawn to you? You do it by asking them questions. Yeah, about them. And every time they try to ask you a question, you spin it back on them. Yeah. And if you guys notice, that's what I do when I'm in the concealed carry class. That's why we're so successful, basically, is because I just keep asking my students questions.
Yeah, well, you talk to them, and you don't just talk about you and all your stories.
I actually care about your answer. I'm really listening intently. Yeah. That's the power.
What people like. You got to remember, people always remember how you made them feel, right?
And they don't remember what you said. Yeah. Nobody cares what you said.
But
what they care about is how you made them feel.
They were interesting, like you wanted to know more about them, stuff like that. So that's what you got to do. And it's a numbers game, baby. If you get turned down once, keep on going, because eventually one of those cute girls is going to say yes.
Yeah. Or you stalk them until they comply.
No, don't do that. Pretty sure that was on the 30-year-old virgin, LOL. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Remember, a ring does not... Well, I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to read it out loud. Okay, Ryan, this guy asked this question earlier. Is it legal to open carry an antique firearm?
Yeah, Casper, we talk about this every time. This is a guy that talks about convicted felons being allowed to conceal carry or open carry antique firearms.
So it is the same guy? Okay, so he just wants to know.
It's because antique firearms, I think the cutoff is like 1896, are not firearms under federal law.
Considered firearms.
So it is not a firearm anymore, which means none of those rules apply anymore because it is no longer a gun.
But I mean, like those things, like you need to use you can't use modern ammo and stuff like that. So you got to keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
You can't be shooting like a regular 9mm out of a old thing. Now I feel like I can't drink this because I feel like I'm busted every time I take a sip. It covers my whole face and I'm like
alcoholic. That's what everybody's thinking. You're an alkie. All right, so I think I got
one little bottle.
I think I got one more story on here. Let's see. Oh, these are some scumbag kids at a store for spring break, just destroying a Walmart. Now, what really...
Sorry.
What really bothers me about this is people like to pretend that they're the victims. I'm the victim in society. Why is everybody picking on me? And then you go out and you do some stupid crap like this.
So this is in Daytona, right? Or not Daytona,
I don't know
Miami, right? Isn't this over spring break?
Spring break, yeah. I just found it in the paper today. I don't know what city it's in.
So Miami is like saying, like, we don't want to be the place known for spring breakers anymore because there's so much crime, so much violence, so much stuff going on over spring break that it's not even worth the extra revenue for them anymore because they're having to have all these extra, police out there and stuff, and it's just getting so crazy. So I don't know why in the world anybody would think that it's okay to go in and damage, other people's property and stuff. But what can you do in that situation? You see all these people damaging.
You
nothing,
just call the
right?
police. You just wait and let them. You don't want to get involved. Yeah,
you get away because people that are acting like that. That's not in a group too. I don't think you want to be around that. Like I think you just want to get your kids away. Get out of there.
Part of the problem here is that this is like what's happening with social media and stuff, right? Is
challenges.
The more like dramatic, the more extreme the thing is that you do.
It was in Panama City.
Okay, thanks for telling us that.
Oh, and Miami declared a state of emergency today.
Okay, awesome. So the more extreme the thing is you do, the more likes and views you get.
No way.
Dude, you don't get to go into a store and just destroy people's stuff.
Yeah.
What?
So somebody said, breaking news, Will Smith just apologized for hitting Chris Rock. I was waiting for that to happen. I was waiting for him to cool down and come to his senses. But this is so funny, Ryan. You're gonna get a kick of this.
If I don't laugh, I'm gonna punch you in the throat.
Okay, so Nacho Biz says, Tiffany, I like your choice of gun. Smiley face. That's the pickup line I said.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. No, you don't think it was funny? I thought it was funny.
I didn't get that joke, but whatever.
Because I said that's how you pick up a chick. Ask her, or tell her you like her choice of gun.
Yeah.
So he's picking.
It's encouragement, right? It's one of the things that I do when my students are shooting is I stand behind them and I'm like, oh, good job, awesome. It's smart. Let him hear that, right? Let him hear that.
But don't say like, good job. You're looking really good. Don't add anything like that in.
Yeah.
That brings you to creep level really fast. Again, Ryan's like.
Or ask for their advice. That's always really good. Like, again,
No. I don't want you to ask me advice on shooting. Like, you're the man. Like, but also don't tell me how to shoot. No, just keep it casual. Don't be asking advice or giving advice. That's not, don't listen to Ryan. He thinks he knows how to get any chick. But I know.
You got to walk up and you got to be like, hey, baby. Looking to get pregnant? It's going to work. I'm telling you. Email me when it works. I'll take that phone call.
Let me tell you this. You lucked out. I think you got a babe.
I did luck out.
But I
know how it works now. I do. I have the code, the secret.
The secret code. All right.
So we want to tell you guys about something really exciting that we're doing. There has been a really big rash of, that's not it. And maybe it didn't save.
All that stuff is cool, but that's not it either.
Shoot, maybe it didn't save.
Oh, you turkey.
Okay. So inside of the description of this video, we have decided to give away one of our best-selling courses, The Expert's Guide to Kids and Guns, which is an amazing...
It's long, too.
It's a big course.
Not boring long. But what I'm saying is this is not like an itty-bitty
This is not cheap. This is not crap.
It's got a ton of kids, like cartoons, kids activities, kids pledges, kids safety book, like that Ryan and I wrote.
But the goal here
animated characters
is to help parents understand how to have the conversation with their children about what to do if they ever find a gun. I am sick and tired. There's another story. I'm going to send an email to my entire list tomorrow about this. Another story of a young kid that just got tragically killed. Yeah. And the parents, the media, they love to blame the gun and the gun owner, frankly. But this is the parents have some responsibility here.
Yeah.
We have to talk to our children. Your children will find a gun one day. at a friend's house, at school, at a park. It's going to happen. I guarantee it. It is your responsibility to make sure they know what to do and, more importantly, what not to do. So, you guys, what's the URL?
So it's just kids, KIDS, .tampacarry.com. I put the link in the chat. So just kids at .tampacarry.com. Super easy. But you just put in your email, and then you can have access to that course. So like I said,
for free.
Yeah, for free. It's 100% free. But I want you to also share that link, the kids.tampacarry.com, if you have grandparents, if you have neighbors that have kids, if you anything, because we cover a ton of stuff, like how to have that conversation when you have little kids and they're going for a sleepover or whatever. Are you asking those parents if they have firearms? Are they locked up? How to have that conversation, without insulting them or something like that. Right? What to do if your kid finds a firearm? What about kids and, teenage kids and mental illness and stuff like that? Like when they should have access. We cover so much stuff. Plus, there's cartoons for kids. There's pledges for kids. There's a safety booklet for kids that you can, with cartoons and stuff that Ryan and I made. So we put a ton of time, ton of effort into this course, but we really just want to kind of start blasting it out there for the community, and hopefully this will save even just one child, right?
Yeah, right now it's about 5,300 kids end up getting shot. I think 1,200 end up dead every year. So ridiculous that this is still happening, because that number should be zero.
Yeah, exactly. In this day and age, it should be zero. And, this is not a Florida-based course either. So it can be given to anybody all over across the U.S. or anywhere else. Doesn't matter. So just please, my daughters went through your CCW course. Awesome. And so I'm going to put that in there
Bill,
again.
Were they hot?
Ryan Thomas! Don't you talk like that. That's not a gentleman. Number 2, when you're picking up chicks, remember, be a gentleman, okay? Be a gentleman. That is lacking in today's world. And we want a gentleman. Just like men want wife material, right? They want somebody who's kind, who's loving, who's going to be nurturing, like who's going to, I see some of these women on social media and stuff, and I'm like, dude, who wants you to be the mother of their children? You talk trashy, you act trashy. I just feel like some women are doing themselves a disservice.
Yeah, very true.
So anyway, share that. Do you have anything else, my
Nope,
love?
that's it.
That's it for tonight?
That's it.
Wow, that's it. Guys, thanks for joining us again. Go get that kids course, and we will see you, I guess, next Monday night.
Next Monday night. Live. Be safe, everybody. Okay, hold on.
Wait.
Mechanic Bill says. Ryan, I have a question. One daughter loves to shoot, the other one's not into it.
That's okay.
For her safety, what do you recommend for the other daughter to use to carry? She carries a golf club. Somebody asked me this the other day. He said, I really want my girlfriend to carry a gun, but she doesn't want to. How do I convince her? And I said, listen, man.
Lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink.
Man, you can't force anybody to do this. So Paisley, my daughter, 13, she doesn't really like guns. Guns are not, she doesn't hate them, but she's not interested. Yeah, she wants to do her nails and makeup and stuff. So that's fine. I'm not interested in pushing her. I just want her to kind of hear my side, and then that's it. We can't force people to do it. We can just encourage them, and then they got to ultimately make the decision for themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
But if we push too hard, then they get pushed away, which is not what we want.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I always think that when somebody finds somebody that they love to learn from, that helps.
Yeah.
So, if she can find somebody that eventually she will like to listen to and learn from, then she'll be, more apt to carry. So.
Yeah, and I think part of it is intimidation, right? Yeah. Fear. Like this woman said to me the other day in the class, she said, I don't want to take the beginner's guide to firearms course. We actually go to the range with me, because she said, I'm too scared and I'm too nervous. That's the point of the course, right?
Everybody's scared and nervous.
Everybody is scared and nervous.
That's okay. That's normal.
We expect that. We plan for that.
Yeah.
If you weren't nervous the first time shooting a gun, you're probably a psychopath.
Yeah.
I just think that everybody has different kind of things in their mind, and you just got to wait for them to be ready.
Superstar says, my daughter didn't want a gun until an intruder forced their way into her apartment Absolutely.
And unfortunately, that also happens a lot. And I see
Yeah.
those people at the class every day, basically.
Exactly. So anyway, thanks guys.
Thanks for watching,
We'll see you
guys.
next
Be
Monday.
safe.